Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Brickmaker channel, and I am more than excited to bring you guys my first ever modded run, on any game for this channel. I thought, why not mix two of my most favourite games, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. And if I'm going to use mods, I might as well go big. We will be asking the question, can you beat Fallout 4 as an NCR veteran ranger? I used a mixture of both Creation Club items and stuff from the mod menu. From the Creation Club, the most obvious one is the anti-material rifle. And when going over to the mods, I was able to find lots of things to help this run come together. The first one was this Ranger Sequoia and Hunting Revolver mod. I was also able to find this Service Rifle mod, which was really nice. I decided to add the Healthier Commonwealth, just for a bit of a different look. And finally, and most importantly, the NCR Veteran Ranger Armor. I'd highly recommend any of those mods for people using PCs or Steam Decks. I had lots of fun using them and also no issues at all with the game. In terms of naming my character, I really pushed the boat out and went creative. I called him NCR Veteran Ranger. When I started the run, I definitely felt like I was going to go more into a luck build. Had the most loving 2 minutes with my family. Tried to abandon them, but noticed that she's quite nimble with that baby in her hand. Watched the explosion and got myself into a nice TV dinner pod. As my brain got froze, I had a very strange hallucination. Remembered that I was from California and decided to head out into the Commonwealth to see if I could find my way back to Shady Sands. Spoiler alert, I don't think it's there anymore. And I really just wanted to take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this hedge thanks to the mod. As any player does, I'll go straight to the Your Special book and shove it right into luck. Head over to the root cellar so I can steal some needed supplies and all the bars of gold. At the beginning of this game, there's no real direction or anything that I need to go in. The only thing I need to do is find weapons that would be appropriate for an NCR ranger. First place I head over to is Walden Pond to get this guaranteed hunting rifle spawn, and try and make it look as close to Fallout New Vegas as possible. I take a couple shots at some bloat flies, get a stock on it, and start making my way to Diamond City. I thought I'd be a wee bit brave and try and punch the super mutant and quickly realised that was a bad idea. Have to hear this silly nonsense for the 100th time. And try and buy whatever ammo I can for the hunting rifle from Percy. The plan is to steal Kellogg's key from Maynrick Dunna early in the game. To access the crucial armour, I'll need to hit the button under... Okay, so apparently you cannot get into the secret room before you save Nick. So I cannot pick up the armor, but I can however get my first weapon for the NCR Veteran Ranger. The Ranger Sequoia. Look at this. What a beautiful job this modder has done. I feel like this mod itself could be part of the Creation Club. I don't want people to have to pay for it, but this is beautifully made. It looks better than the one from New Vegas, obviously with the updated graphics, but that is beautiful. I also decided to wait for Arturo to buy more ammo for my hunting rifle and notice that he already has an anti-material rifle in stock. I really thought I was going to have to do a quest to get this, but luckily I've been able to get it very early. I did however waste ammo for the hunting rifle, so that's a bit of a pain. But despite all that, I might as well head over and save Nick so I can get access to my armor. Heading over to Park Street Station, you may notice that I'm not blessed with ammunition at the start of this game. And this seemed to be a running theme for the anti-material rifle. The 50 caliber ammo is never in huge stock by anyone in Diamond City. I also decided to go back and get some more ammo mid-fight and found that he had another anti-material rifle that had the muzzle attachment. I'd have to wait to pretty high in the gun nut to get that, and well, I want the anti-material rifle to look as close to Fallout New Vegas as possible, so I spent a bunch more caps on just getting the muzzle. I was, however, unable to buy any more ammo for the anti-material rifle, so I'm going to have to just run my way through this. You also can't get any ammo for the Ranger Sequoia until Far Harbor, so I wasn't really aware of that. I probably should have went Far Harbor straight away. But it's fine, I'll waste 20% of my ammunition on Dino, the hardest enemy in the game. I did notice as well though, when you attack the triggermen and run them over to Nick, Nick will not fight until you engage in conversation with him. So keep that in mind if you're going for a pacifist run. Speaking to Nick, and he very much understands my plight. Not looking for my lost son, of course, looking for my lost ammo and my lost armor. I tried to be as conservative with my ammo as possible, make my way back over to the meeting with Skinny Malone, and decide to try and get the drop on him. Man, Skinny Malone took some hit, didn't he? A 50 cal bullet to the face, and that wasn't even half of his health. I no-scoped Darla, watched Nick do this sweet move on a trigger man, and I would like to say that I helped Nick take out the rest of them, but at this point I'm more moral support than anything. I do, however, get the final shot on Skinny Malone. I mean, realistically, I did carry this team at the end. I make my way back to the surface, and Nick agrees to help me find more bullets. My son. I get 100 caps for bringing back Ellie's favourite toy, and bring that toy back to Kellogg's house so he can spawn the magical red button. Most importantly, I steal any supplies that I need from Kellogg, and access this new safe that spawned inside of his room. In here you'll be able to find the Ranger helmet, the Ranger mask, and the Veteran Ranger coat. Now let's put this on for the first time. Let's just take a moment to really appreciate this mod. I mean, it looks pretty spot on. Again, the people who make these mods, I mean, you could easily charge money for this. It looks fantastic, and it really comes together with the Ranger Sequoia as well. Speaking of that Sequoia, we might as well head over and start the Far From Home quest. The reason we're doing this is because the mod that I found for the Sequoia only uses the 45 to 70 caliber ammunition. That's the regular ammunition that you usually find in the lever action rifles. Meaning they won't spawn in the vanilla game, you have to go over to Far Harbor for that ammunition to become available. You can, however, still find lever action rifles on legendary enemies if you haven't travelled to Far Harbor, which is something I learned in my legendary only run, where I would get a lever action rifle and not use it. Arriving at Far Harbor, I must defend the hull. Luckily for this section, you don't actually have to get involved, and after waiting for Captain Avery and the people of Far Harbor to defend itself and not really help, I am able to access their store. Luckily, Alan sells tons of this ammunition, so I'm able to stock up for the foreseeable future. Still struggling a little bit with 50 caliber ammo for the anti-material rifle, but whoa! I don't think I'm going to need it for the time being. I mean, look at the power behind that. The Ranger Sequoia as early game is far too overpowered. This is an end game weapon. I'm able to breeze my way up to Preston Garvey, get into the power armor and swiftly jump out of it, as no, Ranger veterans will not be using power armor in this playthrough. Luckily the Ranger armor itself is more than enough. I decided to play this part very tactically with the Deathclaw. I thought I don't want to get too close, I don't want to get myself killed or anything. I'm going to play this smart, take a spot to snipe the Deathclaw like a good Ranger veteran would. I am a bit worried though about the damage I'm doing, and I decide now that's some real damage. What is it the guy says? That's a lot of damage. Yeah, with the ammo I've got and the power of this weapon, I think I'll be using the Ranger Sequoia for a good amount of time. I do rescue Preston and let him head over to Sanctuary, where I do decide to continue off the main quest. Nick must have been very confused because I broke into Kellogg's house, took some armor that looked like I knew it was there, took a gun and just left. I mean, I've been to Far Harbor, he probably was like, oh, this guy smells like fish, where the hell did he go and why has he got so much ammo? I decided to use that ammo on a super mutant camp, and yeah, we're just one-shotting super mutants at this point in the game. On my way to Fort Hagen, I decided to help out the settlers of Oberheim Station, as when thinking about what faction an NCR veteran ranger would side with, I again came to the conclusion that it would be the Minutemen. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be the Brotherhood of Steel. I mean, the Institute's kind of maybe, and the Minutemen again just made sense. And yes, I didn't mention the railroad on purpose. I know they get a lot of hate, I know it's cool to hate the railroad, but I hate their leader. So smug. Anyway, we're arriving at Fort Hagen. Now, I had a lot of trouble here in the World War II video, based on the difficulty, but, I mean, this Ranger Sequoia. If I was to redo this run, I would have locked the Ranger Sequoia for later in the game. But that's not the point of playing with mods, is it? It's not to balance the game, it's to make the game as fun and as overpowered as possible. And as I sit here with my anti-material rifle, my NCR veteran ranger outfit, and my ranger sequoia, I realise that Fallout 4, which is a game that's not supposed to have any of that, I mean, I think I'm going to have to start using mods a lot more for these runs. If you guys have more ideas for modded runs, let me know as I take a sniping shot at Kellogg's face. And when he goes invisible, I decide just to pull out Sequoia and just start blasting as much as I can. Eventually I'll hit him. This part took longer than it should have. I actually forgot just how annoying Kellogg can be with his stealth boy. But with all that done, I decided to take a nice stroll outside and whoa ho, who's that? That, ladies and gentlemen, is what an NCR ranger would call the old enemy. For anyone who's played Fallout New Vegas, you know that at the beginning of that game, the NCR and the Brotherhood are not on good terms. And despite how you play that game, this NCR ranger he's taken as if Fallout New Vegas hasn't even happened yet, and we are not on good terms. And with that, I am now an enemy of the Brotherhood. If you want to take out the Brotherhood at this point, you have to help them with the ghouls, but that one's for Helios 1, you big metal bastard. Moving swiftly along, I decide to head over to Good Neighbor as I'll have to come here at some point, plus it's a good spot to pick up more ammunition. And once I've picked up a bit more 50 cal, I decide to head over to the Corvega assembly plant, or whatever it's called. Corvega Ironworks? I'm pretty sure I'm getting two of them mixed up there. But anyway, getting into here, it was a pretty easy run around. I mean, these are, level 1 raiders. Even their boss Jared goes down in about one shot. That's for Subway. And I walk into this awkward conversation I'm pretty sure is about me. I'll do the only thing I know what to do in awkward situations, twirl my gun. And I spot Deacon and Good Neighbor before I even make the railroad. Head over to the memory den so I can go rooting around in Nick's and in Kellogg's brain. It's a shame that some of the best character development in any Fallout game is wasted in such a boring memory nonsense. And on a character that is no longer alive. Well, hopefully we'll see him in a future game. As Nick. Speaking of that, Nick puts on his best Kellogg impression and I do not take that joke well. Let this settlement know that I dealt with all those raiders because I cannot do any quest in a linear path. Get promoted to General. Lee Oliver, step over. And decided to speak to Daisy as I'm sure I read that she has a legendary antimaterial rifle. Unfortunately, the legendary effect's not particularly great, so I decided not to waste my caps on it. I'm pretty happy with the material rifle I've got for now. When I'm speaking to her though, I decided I might as well do her quest for her and go clear out the public library. Heading down into the subway station, it's a pretty simple task for me. I do however run into something very handy that I didn't expect. A service rifle just lying in his duffel bag. I thought I'd have to wait till later in the game to buy one of these, but there you go, I've just found one. That was completely by accident. I put all my experience as a veteran ranger into cracking this unbreakable code, and decide to stealth my way all the way through this large staircase. That's right, stealth my way. Take a bit of a slower path this time, make sure I get that tripwire. Return the overdue book. I also decide to clear out the rest of the library because why not? Yeah, I'm already here. Might as well. I decide against the intelligence bobblehead as I want to keep my idiot savant up. And finally start using the service rifle. I unfortunately don't have that many rounds for it, so it's very, very short-lived, but so far I really liked it. It's not the worst thing having to use my backup weapon of the Ranger Sequoia. It's just a literal one-shot kill on pretty much everything except legendary enemies at this point. And after our last reload, I'm able to take out the last super mutant in the library. On my way to help more settlements, I run into something that I really didn't anticipate. Becoming an enemy of the Brotherhood so early means now that they're here, and they have random vertebrates flying around, I can just get attacked at any moment by a Brotherhood vertebrate. I thought I'd try and snipe it down and that wasn't really working, so I thought I'll just pull out the pistol. And yeah, damn, it is very overpowered. I know in this game the vertebrates aren't exactly made of stern stuff, they go down pretty easily. But taking it down with a pistol, I mean, I'm in a conversation and being shot at and I don't even move. Because I'm just very confident that these vertibirds, these huge flying helicopter planes, are just unable to handle my single action revolver. I mean, 10 bullets at most. That's only if I don't hit the thing exactly on the money. And with those 6 shots in, it spins out of control and blows up. With taking out the Brotherhood's air support, I decide to head into Backstreet Kapow to take out some raiders. I mean, at this point, I think the raiders are generally more difficult than vertibirds are. I rescue a settler and they welcome in the Minutemen. With that, I'm just doing random, I mean, it would be generous to call them fun. It would be generous to call them engaging, just busy work for the Minutemen. And decide I'll do something a bit funner and have a run around the glowing sea. I mean, I was hoping for more of a challenge in here, but even Deathclaws, 4, 5 shots, and yeah, the Sequoia takes it down. I decided to give myself a bit more of a challenge and use the anti-material rifle to take out a rad scorpion, but it's just too tempting to swap back to the Sequoia. The graphics of Fallout 4 really coming into play there for this legendary scorpion. And a bit of a horror movie there, I zoom in, shoot, and when I zoom back he's gone. I finally see the Deathclaw that sits outside Virgil's cave. And again, as an added challenge to myself, I decide to use the anti-material rifle to try and take it down before it reaches me. I hit a couple pretty sweet no-scopes that will be going in my montage later. And like a scared little child, I run back to my mother's bosom of the Ranger Sequoia. I come to speak to Virgil, and he points me in the right direction to go take out a courser. The Green Tech Genetics fight is actually, usually, a pretty difficult fight, mainly because of the missile launcher gunner near the top. It's also a great place to pick up some service rifle ammo, as it's only really these machine turrets that use the 5.56 ammunition. Like, I would even argue that it's a pretty rare ammunition in this game. I mean, only one other weapon uses it and no one really sells it. Talking about not selling, I do not sell that missile shot to my legs at all, as this armor is just very powerful for this stage in the game. And I finally reached the courser, who immediately he immediately knew what I was up to when I backed up. He tried a similar tactic to Kellogg, but this time I'm a lot more accurate. And with the courser out, I head over to the Old North Church. Like I said earlier, my veteran ranger training comes into real effect breaking that code. And something that's lovely about the railroad, if you've already got the courser chip, you don't have to do Deacon's nonsense quest to get in for Tinker Tom to decode it for you. You're able just to bypass all of it. Desdemona's as lovely as usual, so I head back to Virgil, who's a lot nicer and prettier to look at, and start building my relay platform. Something happened in this playthrough that I have never actually encountered before. I was unable to build all of it. I didn't have enough parts. I think in this playthrough I just forgot to pick up the miscellaneous and all the scraps so I can make sure I could build everything. So I had to do this quest for the first time ever to get a military grade circuit board. But with that, it's all built. I speak to Sturgis and he lets me know that it's definitely safe. I watch the fueling tube and get spawned straight into the institute. With that, I'm trying to tell this kid that I'm from California and he just keeps saying that I'm his son. I don't know why he's saying this, and then this old man says he's my son. I'm trying to explain to him just a veteran ranger. I'm from the NCR, guys. Stop claiming this. And my father's son tells me that I need to go meet all the heads of all the departments. At this point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the Institute. I decided to keep them around for now, as I didn't know how I wanted the game to end. And I let Sturgis know that I stole all the data for him. You have to complete a few more settlement quests, as I want to get to defending the castle as soon as possible. And on my way to Dunwich Boars, which is one of the hardest ranger bases to knock out for a settlement. I mean, God. I decided to do some sniper practice near the Saugus Ironworks. But on my way though, I noticed some blood splatters. This is strange. I don't know what any of this could be. And as I turn the corner here, I notice there's an encampment. There's a camp here set up by some soldiers. I decided to take a better position, and what would you know? It's not just the Brotherhood who's the old enemy around here. I have ran into some remnants of the Enclave. Now there's one thing that we know about the NCR and the Enclave. The NCR did not get on with them, and they did not allow any of these remnants to still be around. So there's only one thing for this veteran ranger to do, and that's to continue the massacre of the Enclave. Whether it's in California or Vegas, even if it's in the Commonwealth, the Enclave cannot be allowed to still operate. I take out their camp and break into their computer, knowing that there's many more different stations all around the Commonwealth that need to be taken out. But before I do that, that one settlement that had that one guy at it, he says I've got to wipe out the Dunwich Boars for him, so yeah, I gotta go take out Dunwich now. A perfect raider camp to take out as a sniper. I mean, I had a lot of fun popping in and out with the anti-material rifle. With all the raiders just walking around the random ledges and just popping in and out and having the huge lights on their head. I mean, perfect time to come at night. I really did feel like I was role-playing as a sniper during this part. Even when I would get spotted, I would retreat and find a better position so I could take out the rest of the people who were on to me. And I'm pretty sure by the end of it, I only had to engage one raider in close combat. Some of the raider wasters though, they were able to take 2 or 3 shots by the anti-material rifle. And this ranger veteran, I mean, he's in power armor, so I thought why not just get up and close with the Sequoia. With that, I got to head a little bit deeper into Dunwich and wipe out the remaining raiders. I use this very, very smart button and elevator technique. I mean, they'll never know what happened. Moving deeper and deeper into the mine, we start noticing that these raiders they're not just normal raiders, they're saying and speaking things that you only really find in this area for Dunwich. Maybe worth coming back and exploring at a later date, maybe for a different video. For now, however, we're just gonna take out these raiders for the settlers. And poor Bedlam, I mean, his little feet go quick, 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 and it's a little bit difficult for me to keep my sniper scope on him. And even then, he takes a good few shots, and the anti-material rifle doesn't seem to be doing huge amounts of damage. So what do you do in these situations? You get up close with the Sequoia. I let the settlers know that I had to wipe out an entire garrison of soldiers for them. And President Garvey finally gives me the quest for taking independence. I shuffle my way over to the castle and run into this NPC called Parker Quinn. Now Parker Quinn has this really cool idea for this thing called a charge card. And I know as the NCR that, you know, we have our own money, our own cash, our own system, and... What did you call me? That didn't seem very nice. Yeah, well look at that. I got the bottle caps and the charge card. Petty murder aside, I head over to President Garvey and we set our plan of attack for the castle. The longest part of taking the castle isn't taking out the Mirelurks. It's not even taking out the Queen at the end. It's these... the clutches of eggs. It's usually not a problem if you've got like a melee weapon, especially something like Pickman's Blade or any combat knives that you can just quickly jab, jab, jab. But when you've got pretty big weapons that have expensive and rare ammo, yeah, wasting one bullet at a time on these Mirelurk hatchlings is not the smartest idea. So I decided to pick a corner and just start meleeing as many as they run at me. I think by the end of this, I must have had near 200 Mirelurk meats. I mean, I'll never have to worry about healing again, but still, it took a bit too long. The Queen tries to entice me by showing me her legs. However, again, like I said, my veteran ranger training has taught me how to negate and ignore the sexual witchcraft. Despite my love and affection for her, I have to put the old Queen down. I pop my head up one more time and take my last 3 shots at the Mirelurk Queen, taking back the castle for the Minutemen. I get the radio transmitter up and running, and with so much success for the Minutemen, it's time to make sure the Enclave aren't doing any sort of plan of attack or counter-attack on me. I swipe away this easy Deathclaw, swipe away another one, I think I'm only 4 bullets down at this point, and end up getting swarmed by a pretty big nest of rad scorpions, which they aren't tough to take, but my god they're tough to hit. At one point I seriously thought the game was just glitching because I was sure I was hitting these rad scorpions. I mean, some of them were very easy to take down, but other ones it felt like the bullets just missed them for no reason, even though I was hitting them dead on. However, battling through all the mutants and abominations, I finally arrive at the Enclave base at the Atlantic offices. The Enclave only have one watchman on the tower, and with a nice sneak attack on his head, I'm able to negate some of his Tesla cannon shots and finish him off with the anti-material rifle. I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself. I didn't have to use the Sequoia for that one. I try and pop my head through the window to see if I can spot any ne'er-do-wells, and get myself into a bunch of different tomfooleries with all these Enclave soldiers. I finally reach the Enclave colonel and blast them point blank right in the waist. I'm able to capture all the information about their other encampments, and I will just hold on to that for now. But now I need to escape the lockdown. I mean, do all these soldiers have power armor? Ah, finally an easy enemy, a vertibird. At this point it's actually pretty difficult because the heavy incinerator is a very powerful weapon that the new update included into the game. However, having the high ground, being in a tower with a sniper, it's just a matter of time before I could take out all the different Enclave soldiers. The only problem is, like I said, watching my health as I'm constantly set on fire. Also, the Enclave pilot survived. They don't usually survive vertibird crashes, the pilot, so good for him. I mean, he seems a bit docile. I shot him about 4 times, he didn't seem to move, but that's him down. And at this point, the Enclave are just being annoying, as I'm trying everything in my power not just to jump down there with the Sequoia and take them all out. I really want to use the sniper rifle. I really want to use the anti-material rifle for some of these firefights. But I find myself not making them more difficult, it just makes it more tedious. One last no scope finishes them off, completing Echoes of the Past. With that, we can get back to the real excitement of this game. Clearing out more settlements and more super mutants and raiders for the Minutemen. Something interesting though does happen. I run into a legendary super mutant who is carrying a hunting revolver. Now you can obviously find veteran rangers with hunting revolvers or the Sequoia, so to me this weapon is fair game to be used. However, despite that, having a legendary effect, having burn damage, it only does about half the damage that a Ranger Sequoia does, so using the same ammo, doing half the damage, it just doesn't really make much sense to be using the hunting revolver over the Sequoia. Again, this is a great mod, fantastic mod, I love it. But putting the revolver and the Sequoia in it with the same, I don't know, I feel that Sequoia could have its own separate mod. But with that, head over to the castle to help Ronnie Shaw rebuild, and again, another vertibird decides just to roll up and just bother me. Like, genuinely, at this point, they're just here to bother me. It's nothing other than that. You just gotta swat them out the sky like a mosquito. With my, 10th airship taken down via pistol, I'm able to clear the debris under the castle and get Ronnie Shaw down there. Sarge is as difficult as ever, and I'm not being sarcastic with that. He took tons of rounds to take down. The Brotherhood should generally think about just riding Sarges into battle instead of vertibirds. It would probably get them a lot further. I'm trying to use the hunting revolver as much as possible for some variety, but I think the 3 weapons, the service rifle, the anti-material rifle, and the Sequoia is more than enough. With Sarge taken down, Ronnie Shaw showed us that not all boomers can't use computers. I get a general outfit. That can go with my colonel outfit, but I'll never wear them because I'm a ranger through and through. Build some cannons and decide to put the scope in a hunting revolver because I forgot that is the aesthetic. I also decide to build some artillery points at other settlements for, reasons. And decide that no, I don't need the Institute alive, and actually in fact, to get this game to where I need it to be, the Institute must be removed. Now I know what's going on the screen right now is a lot to take in, but all you need to know is that I jumped into the Institute and I just started blasting. Stimpaks, this ammunition, this armor, I really didn't have much of a problem. And taking out the Institute is pretty difficult because they really do start swarming. With the last courser down, I have made the Institute a complete enemy of the Minutemen. I take a moment to pause in my armor with my Sequoia and get teleported back to the CIT ruins. After committing that mass murder, Preston Garvey is just very confused to why there's Institute Sims scoping out the castle, and I head over to defend the castle. I just took the castle, I am now defending the castle. Why can't people just leave this castle alone? It is, however, a brilliant place for a sniper. High walls, high ground. Don't try it. You are my brother, Sim Patroller. You are the legendary one, supposed to balance the Institute, not leave it in darkness. I decide to play the rest of Defense of the Castle like a Call of Duty game. Running and gunning, just taking small parts to remember that I should be using my sniper more. At this point we're just picking off the last couple stragglers, and with the castle properly defended, Preston decides that it's time to take the fight back to the Institute. In the span of about 30 minutes in real life, I have wiped out the Institute, defended the castle, and Sturgis has figured out a way in. That is efficiency at its finest. We are working hard. I dive into the irradiated water and find my special hidden hole. Don't tell any of the people about my public hole. They can't know. It's dirty and it's smelly, and there's a keypad inside of it for some reason. I stealth my way through all the Institute defences with my 50 caliber sniper rifle, and get another pretty sweet no scope on this feral ghoul. Again, for the added challenge, I try and use my sniper as much as possible in this close combat situation, and teleport the Minutemen reinforcements into the Institute. Preston, who only found out and saw the Institute for the first time an hour ago, is very happy to get his way to the fusion reactor. And since I've been using my sniper rifle as much as possible like a good little boy, I decide to reward myself with some more Sequoia gameplay. The Minutemen with their pipe weapons and their laser muskets aren't particularly much help, and luckily this armor is able to protect me enough that I can just reload in front of all of them while being shot and really just don't even have to worry. I take a leap of faith into this creepy little hole and make my way to the bioscience area. Having this all-out gunfight, I have a moment of realization. The gorillas are out, and I don't have to deal with that. I can just walk through this door. Make my way into the central chamber. It's just filled with coursers, which, like we've seen many times, it's not difficult to take down, it's just annoying and inconvenient. Did they always have this many stealth boys before? I do a pretty cool twirl of my revolver again so I can take out the lockdown. Again, I think this is the first computer I've had to hack in this game. I got the little notification about it. And make my way into advanced systems, which you can't find Madison Lee at this point. I think she despawns if you wipe out the Institute. I think it's to make sure her character can come back in a future game. I'm not sure, I couldn't see her. I tried to find her when I was down here, I just couldn't see her. I eventually make my way to the reactor, and have to fight my way through tons of Simpson legendary Sims as well. The Sims numbers, their names, is that important? Does that mean anything? Anyone out there in the comments, leave one down below. Let me know why they're called 74K97B. I also noticed that this guy's missile launcher had a bayonet on it. And find a very cool weapon that I would love to use, a Furious Deathclaw Gauntlet. What a sweet legendary drop. After getting the passwords, I'm able to put the fusion pulse onto the reactor core, and I am unable to find Preston. I was a bit worried that the game had glitched out, so I decided to backtrack as any good RPG player does, and find him sitting on his hands in the advanced systems area. But don't worry though, someone's filled him in on everything that's just happened, and me and Preston spawn back to the start. I decide to help my fake son. Sturgis is pretty happy with that, and he teleports me to the mass fusion building. It's here where we're finally able to flip the switch, hit the detonator, and blow up the Institute, ending the game saying that yes, wrong! Come on guys, you know there's one last thing that we gotta do. We gotta go fight the old enemy. We gotta build some military turrets. We gotta build some artillery. And we have got to set sights on the Brotherhood of Steel. It wouldn't be an NCR run if we didn't take out the Brotherhood, would it? This is actually the first ever playthrough I've done where I've been able to end it with taking out the Brotherhood with the Minutemen. And to be honest, I think this is a cooler ending than the Railroads is. I mean, running on there and planting some bombs is cool, but being able to hit them out with military, like artillery shells is just, oh, very cinematic and beautiful. However, though, that does mean we have to defend the castle for one more time. Again, the third time this castle has been under attack in this playthrough. I mean, this castle is not that cool. I mean, it's a castle. It's completely destroyed and it's filled with Mylark eggs. And yet, this is the third attack on it just in this one playthrough. The Brotherhood are as difficult as ever. It's just like swatting bugs out of the sky with their vertibirds. But we do get some more cinematic scenes. The guys in power armor don't fare much better. And at this point my Steam Deck is starting to make some serious fan noise as all the explosions go around. Even the legendary Brotherhood Knight Captains are unable to take the Sequoia, and I'm pretty much using it at this point as a sniper rifle. Kinda disappointing that you can't put a scope on the Sequoia. For anyone wondering, you can't mod the Sequoia, it's only the hunting revolver that you're able to add mods and change. This one is unable to be changed by anything. At this point I was getting a little bit bored of just all the fighting. I mean, defending the castle percentages go up so slow that I was more worried that I was going to run out of ammo by the end of the fight. However, with 250 Sequoia bullets gone, I have successfully defended the castle. However, it wouldn't be appropriate to end the game without a little bit of sniper practice before we go. I gotta give this Knight Captain his props. He took a lot of bullets into the back. I also started putting some points into the sniper perk, which allows for knockdowns on certain shots. And at this point he accepted his fate and just started wandering around in my sights. With the final Brotherhood soldier down, I can speak to Preston, finishing the quest with our powers combined, showing that yes, you can indeed beat Fallout 4 as an NCR veteran ranger. No credits for taking out the Brotherhood, so Ronnie's speech will just have to do. I hope you guys enjoyed. I loved playing this. I loved doing this modded run. This was so much fun and really brought a lot more spice back to Fallout 4 for me. If you guys have got this far into the video, please write a comment saying Ronnie so I know who's out there. Please remember to leave a like and a comment if you did enjoy the video. And again, leave any suggestions to other challenge runs or any mod runs or any type of videos you want to see on this channel. The recent support on this channel has been blowing me away and I could not be more grateful to all of you. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.